Young and the Restless, Spoilers, Shock. Welcome back to our channel, besties. Today is a beautiful day to dive into some absolutely mind-blowing daytime television drama, and we are so ready to unpack every single second of it with you. Grab your iced coffees and strap in, because things are getting wild. You guys, I am deceased. Stop what you are doing right this very second, because we need to talk about this now. I am literally shaking. I am filming this while running errands, walking down the literal beverage aisle of the grocery store, because I just had to jump on here and vent about the absolute cinematic mayhem that is happening with Nick Newman right now. I am genuinely hyperventilating. Send help. My soul has actually left my body. We are not just watching this show anymore. We are invested. And I am personally offended and simultaneously living for every single chaotic choice these people are making. It is giving major, I cannot even energy, and we are spilling all the tea right now. Wait, backtrack for a second. I missed a step. My brain is literally buffering from the sheer audacity of the plot. Let me set the scene for you, because I was mid-skincare and smeared charcoal mask all over the rug when this episode aired, and I literally had to yeet my phone across the room. So, we are back in the rehab center. The lighting is that weird, sterile, fluorescent glow that genuinely makes everyone look like they have not slept in 3 decades, which is honestly so unhinged, but it fits the vibe. Nick Newman is sitting there doing a jigsaw puzzle. A jigsaw puzzle. The symbolism is straight up screaming at us. Besties, he is trying to put the pieces of his shattered life back together, and I am clutching my chest because I am too unwell to handle the gravity of these events. Oh, hold on, I should have mentioned this earlier, but we have to remember how Nick even got back here. Did I say that yet? My brain is mush. Moving on. Remember a few updates ago when Nick checked out of rehab against medical advice, hit absolute rock bottom, and went to that dingy park motel? He was hallucinating Matt Clark, straight up spiraling, and then he ended up doing fentanyl and sleeping with his mysterious neighbor, Marie Kirkland. Marie literally overdosed and stopped breathing, and Nick had to do chest compressions and call 911 and then call Sharon in a complete panic. It was a messy, unfiltered, emotional train wreck. And now, by some absolute miracle, they are both back in the rehab facility, and Marie is just casually walking by, placing missing puzzle pieces into Nick's puzzle. The tension is astronomical. But wait, I am glitching. Okay, back to the main event. Victor Newman shows up at the clinic. Yes, Victor the Mustache Newman, the man who is currently manipulating Nikki into signing away her Newman Enterprises shares while she is heavily medicated and dealing with blindness. That Victor, he struts into the rehab center, and I am immediately bracing myself for a toxic, gaslighting father-son showdown, because Victor is officially on my do not perceive list. I am so done with his manipulation. But bestie, be for real right now. What happens next genuinely made my jaw drop to the floor. Victor sits down with Nick, and it is a deeply emotional, tear-streaked encounter. Victor looks at his broken, addicted son, and instead of berating him, he actually affirms him. Victor straight up tells Nick that he is proud of him. I repeat, Victor Newman said the words, "I am proud of you," to Nicholas Newman. I am literally screaming into a pillow right now. Victor promises Nick that they are going to get through this nightmare together. It was such a rare, vulnerable moment of paternal support that I almost forgot Victor is a ruthless corporate warlord who recently kidnapped Jack Abbott. The duality of this man is a high-octane psychological masterpiece, and I am spiraling over his choices. And then Nick does something so incredibly mature that I genuinely had to pause the screen and take a deep breath. Nick tells Victor the whole truth. He does not hide the relapse. He does not hide the motel room. He basically lays out the entire story about what happened with Marie Kirkland. He admits that they have grown close, that they shared this incredibly dark, traumatic experience of hitting rock bottom together. Nick is being so vulnerable, and honestly, I am totally living for this era of accountability for him. He is owning his mess, and that is growth, besties. But of course, Victor immediately goes into protective billionaire mode. The second Victor hears about Marie, his radar goes off. He starts worrying that this random woman is going to be a massive threat to Nick's sobriety. And honestly, Victor is not wrong, but the way he immediately views Marie as a liability is just so classic Victor. He wants to neutralize the threat. But Nick, my sweet recovering king, completely shuts that down. Nick makes it crystal clear to his father that he is the only one responsible for his own choices. He straight up says that Marie is not going to drag him down because he is the one in control of his recovery now. Nick taking radical accountability, we absolutely love to see it. Wait, did you guys hear that weird background noise? I swear the grocery store intercom just played a jazz cover of a pop song, which is honestly such a bizarre aesthetic choice. But whatever. I am too hyped to stay on track. Let us get back to the absolute dumpster fire that happens next. So Victor leaves the facility, probably to go back to plotting against the Abbotts or whatever unhinged side quest he is on today. Nick goes back to his jigsaw puzzle, and who comes sauntering over? Marie Kirkland. But besties, the vibes are entirely different this time. Marie is not just casually helping with a puzzle. She is a walking, talking, emotional hurricane. And I am physically vibrating from the sheer anxiety of watching her approach him. Marie drops an absolute nuclear bomb. She confesses to Nick that her husband has just filed for divorce. Let that sink in. She is in rehab, trying to get her life together after literally dying and being revived in a cheap motel room, and her husband serves her with divorce papers. I am genuinely so heartbroken for her, but also the chaos that this unleashes is on another level. Marie goes into a complete and total rage. She is spiraling into a manic panic, and the cinematic drama of this breakdown is a 10 out of 10. She is terrified, she is furious, and she is desperate to escape the crushing reality of her life falling apart. And don't even get me started on the vibes of what she asks Nick to do next, because it is literally the most unhinged request in the history of television. Marie looks at Nick, her partner in their previous relapse, and demands that he help her find drugs. Not just any drugs, but she wants him to help her scour the rehab facility for confiscated narcotics. Bestie, what? She starts frantically rattling off a literal mental map of where the staff hides the confiscated contraband on the campus. She knows exactly where the stashes might be, and she is begging Nick to go on a treasure hunt for illicit substances with her. I am literally shaking. How does she even know where the confiscated drugs are kept? Is this rehab facility security genuinely that much of a joke? I am spiraling over the logistical nightmare of a clinic just having loose baggies of drugs hidden in random drawers that the patients know about. But I digress, because the emotional stakes here are astronomical. Marie is basically offering Nick a VIP ticket straight back to the dark place they were just in. She wants to numb the pain, and she wants him to do it with her. It is a massive, terrifying test of Nick's sobriety, and I am sitting here clutching my iced coffee like a lifeline, just praying that Nick does not cave. Nick looks at her, and you can see the psychological warfare happening behind his eyes. It is a masterpiece of acting. He understands exactly why Marie is so tempted. He knows that soul-crushing urge to just turn off your brain and escape the shame and the pain. He feels deep, genuine empathy for her because he was literally right there with her at the Park Motel just days ago. The temptation is real, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. I was legitimately terrified that Nick was going to say yes, because, let us be real, our boy has a history of making the absolute worst decisions when he is emotionally compromised. But then, the most glorious thing happens. Nick straight up refuses. He tells Marie no. He will not help her find the drugs, and he will not do them with her. He flat out rejects her unhinged plan because he realizes that doing anything to jeopardize his recovery is no longer an option. Nick tells her that he needs to go home to his family. He has Sharon, he has Noah, he has Summer, he has Victor and Nikki. He has a massive support system waiting for him on the outside, and he finally recognizes that he cannot throw his life away for a fleeting high. The contrast between Nick and Marie in this moment is genuinely devastating. Nick has a billionaire empire and a fiercely loyal family waiting to catch him when he falls. Marie is completely shattered. When Nick refuses, you can physically see the hope drain out of her. She is so deeply upset, not just because she cannot get high, but because she realizes she has absolutely no life to go back to. Her husband is leaving her. Her marriage is over. She has nothing and no one, and she is trapped in this sterile facility with her own demons. It is a tragic, messy, unfiltered look at addiction, and my heart is just breaking for her. Nick obviously does not think Marie needs to go back to using drugs either, but he cannot save her. He can only save himself. It is such a brutal, necessary boundary for him to set. He is finally prioritizing his own healing over his savior complex, which is honestly so refreshing, but also so painful to watch, because Marie is just left there to drown in her own despair. I am calling it right now. This is going to be the catalyst for something massive. Marie is either going to go completely off the rails and find those drugs herself, or she is going to turn on Nick, manifesting a total dumpster fire by the next update, because there is no way this ends peacefully. Wait, I need to take a breath. I am literally exhausted from screaming about this. The sheer audacity of Marie asking Nick to break into the rehab's contraband stash right after Victor Newman gave him a heartfelt pep talk is just peak television. It is the kind of drama that makes me realize this show is now my entire personality, and I am not okay. I am going to be thinking about Nick's character growth and Marie's tragic villain origin story for the rest of the week. And can we just talk about how Nick bringing up his family is such a powerful anchor for him after everything Matt Clark did to terrorize Sharon and Noah? Nick knows that he has to be strong for them. He cannot let a psychopath like Matt win, and he cannot let a broken woman like Marie pull him back into the abyss. He is fighting for his life, and I am genuinely So proud of him. Which feels weird to say about a fictional character, but like I said, we are invested. All right, besties. I have to go pay for these groceries before the cashier calls security on me for aggressively whispering into my phone in the middle of the store. But you better believe I will be back the second the next episode drops, because my brain is still visibly buffering and I need to know if Marie finds that stash. Stay chaotic, stay obsessed, and I will see you in the next one.